Today, I'm going to level with you on a lot of things. Truth be told, I've been struggling a lot lately with burnout from uploading so often. I've been sleeping from like 10 to 12 hours a day because I just don't have any energy. And I've just been like thinking a lot about the future of my channel and what I want to do with it. And I feel like overall, the connection that I have between you guys, it's not as strong as it used to be. And I know that that's a part of your channel growing and like you just being incapable of keeping track. So today I wanted to talk a little bit about myself and I wanted to use the audience as a vehicle to do so. I can't do this. I'm nervous. So on my Discord, I asked you guys to ask me anything that you wanted. It could be as personal as you want, and I'm gonna try my best to do it. Yotter says, what do you feel about the comments section? There's been lots of generic comments like, claim your within 1 hour ticket here, and they sound like they're just trying to get likes. Do you ever read comments? If so, how do they affect you? Those types of comments I really feel are kind of adding a divider between me and my community, because when I was smaller, I used to see everything that people were saying because I was small and nobody cared, and it was easy for me to see and know who my audience is. And now when I upload, there's so much spam. I used to painstakingly go through the task of like deleting every single spam that I saw at the beginning, but it's getting to a point where I'm so busy and I'm so burnt out that it's kind of a lot to handle. But yeah, I mean, negative comments affect me. Positive comments, I often reread them numerous times because I want it to sink in, because every YouTuber will tell you that they'll get 100 good comments and they'll focus on the bad comment. I really try to not let that be me. Oh, this is a good one. Okay, so Melquar, do you actually like Robert, Lauren, and Azzy, or do you just use them to get more views? Well, I feel like there's a lot of cynicism to this question that, like, even if I say my relationships with Robert, Azzy, and Lauren, there's still a high probability that you wouldn't believe me anyway. I will say that Azzy is like the creator who is a lot bigger than me, and when we started collabing together, like, we went to a movie first and we tried to be friends first. Tried to take her on a date, you know, before I screwed her over. I really tried to make it a situation, and I recommend this if you're starting with YouTube and you want to collab with somebody who's a lot bigger than you. I did a thing where I was like, okay, I'm going to pitch you the video. I'm going to like help you prepare the video. Like, you just show up to my house, everything will be prepared, we'll film it together. Gonna make sure it's a good idea. Basically, like, I tried my hardest to be as useful as I humanly could because I understood that she brings so much value in terms of numbers, and that's value that I just didn't have. And that's why in a lot of our earlier collabs, like us trying hacks and stuff, a lot of those things were done at my house because I was trying to be a good friend, but I was also trying to be really professional, and it was good. There's definitely people out there who I want to collab with, but I would never ask just because they're so much bigger than me that I don't feel like I bring that value. Maybe there'll come a time where I'm like, okay, this is a good reason, this is good value I can bring in. At that point I ask, but otherwise it's pretty scary to ask. So I never just roll into the DMs and go, hey, I don't have an idea, but will you collab with me? I never do that. I would die. Like, my imposter syndrome would kill me. MauriCleric says, what's the biggest argument you've gotten into with another YouTuber behind the scenes? The biggest argument I've gotten into, I mean, I haven't really gotten into like an argument where we were screaming at each other, because I feel like all YouTubers have this like fear where they don't want to rub each other the wrong way. But one time a YouTuber came to me and was like,
you've been uploading 15 minutes after me every single day.
A common algorithmic thing known by YouTubers is that if you upload right after somebody, you're basically taking their momentum, and people get push notifications for your video while they're watching this other person, and they all go to you. So it's kind of taboo to do that, and nobody really does it on purpose. So, well, I'd like to think nobody does it on purpose. Somebody accused me of that, so I had to go to this Amnesty International website and like find the exact timestamps that both of us posted and present them to her as evidence that I wasn't doing that. I think that someone was in her ear saying I was doing it, but we both realized I wasn't doing it, and it was fine. Rombi says, do you have any bad experiences with other YouTubers? And if so, how do you handle it? Personally, I haven't had a bad experience with other YouTubers just because I'm very like private and I very much keep to myself, and I don't say yes to a lot of things and I don't go to a lot of conventions. That being said, I feel like I should take this as an opportunity to like talk about something that I've been thinking about a lot. There are several dramas that I've been witness to, like back-end dramas that I've been witness to, where like the public has a certain perception of what it looks like, but it's not what it looks like. And the victim in that scenario won't stand up for themselves because, for a number of reasons, they aren't standing up for themselves. And it's just kind of sad to see somebody be painted with a bad brush because they don't want their channel to turn into a drama channel, or they don't want to get into a fight with like someone who will try to win at all costs and even lie about it. How expensive is your setup? It's pretty expensive. I actually don't know how expensive it is, but like I've got a fully loaded PC with 2 monitors. I just upgraded my PC. In front of me right now is a light that I've wanted for a really long time. I only got this light, I think, in the past year, and before that I was using like $150 soft boxes. So this light is probably like 800?
Yeah, I think it was $900.
Like 900 for this light that's lighting me right now. That's blowing my face out right now. Camera, it's a few thousand probably. It's a pretty expensive setup, but I will say that when I first started YouTube, it was a pretty cheap setup, and I've like upgraded as I go. And it makes me nervous when people spend so much money up front to start content creating. I think the better way to do it is to like start, and then eventually when you make money, to like reinvest into your channel. Terpaseth says, what is going to happen with Cloudy Apples? Cloudy Apples was the channel that I was on prior to this one. Cloudy Apples, it was interesting because the people that really loved it, like I had a cult following with it. It was a different stage in YouTube before people really started cheering for you and like rooting for you. And I always felt like everything had to be perfect. And so I kind of have like a bit of like, I get a bit of anxiety when I think about it, because I remember being in a position where I was trying so hard to appease people. I was trying so hard to not be offensive in any way, shape, or form. I was trying so hard to do the right thing. And that's why Gloom was a nice break for me, because it was like, I'm just gonna be a jackass and that's it. Moi says, when do you want to get pregnant if you want to? If I do want to get pregnant, it'll probably be before I'm, what's the word? Menopausal? No! Before I'm geriatric. If I do it, it'll be in the next 5 years probably. Froggo says, has your sexuality changed since you came out as pan? No, I think I'm still there. I'm still there. I'm still chilling. Still vibing. Mint Choco Cookie says, if you could change one thing about your life, present or past, what would it be and why? If I could change one thing, then it would definitely be like my sister still being here. And I would have like done anything I could do to like change that. Hope says, what would the reason of you and Terry fighting usually be? We don't really fight anymore. In our first like 2 to 3 years, we fought a lot, like constantly. And I think that one of the reasons why we lasted so long is because we got all of the fights out early, and we'd never just agreed to disagree. We fought for as long as it had to take, even if we were up until 9 a.m. fighting. And by the time we went to bed, we always understood each other better. I have like a very aggressive and like strong personality, and it was definitely a taming of the shrew situation for Terry. Mighty says, when you die, what do you want to be remembered for? Spill the tea. I had a really interesting conversation about this the other day. I asked a couple of my YouTube friends, I was like, when you walk into a room, do you want people to think that you're rich, that you're important, that you're smart? Like, do you want them to respect you? And everybody in that room said yes. And I was like, personally, like, I don't really have so much pride that I care. It's not like, I want to be able to take care of my family, and I want to be able to please my audience of whoever will watch me, but it's not very important for me to be remembered as one of the greats. It's not important for me at all to be remembered after I die. I just kind of want to get by and do what I love. And one of the reasons why I hardly ever complain on this channel is because I fully realize I have one of the greatest jobs in the entire world, so complaining just feels like, it just feels really tacky. Wolfie says, pick one, cheat or be cheated on. I would much rather be cheated on than cheat. The guilt would just absolutely destroy me. Initial says, do you have any guilty pleasures? I do. I order, ever since we've been stuck at home in quarantine, I have been ordering Uber Eats consistently. I've barely cooked a meal in the past year, and I'm disgusted about that because, like, I always say it disgusts me when people don't cook or don't know how to cook, and it's just something that it's so wasteful. Like, all the plastic, all the styrofoam, the cost, like, just everything. On one hand, I'm like, well, I'm glad to be supporting, like, you know, local businesses and the person who brings me my food, but on the other hand, like, it's very wasteful. Luke says, in a previous video, you said you were pan. Did everyone support you when you came out? Yeah, it was really easy. And that's one of the reasons why, I remember recently YouTube contacted me to, like, kind of spearhead an awareness movement pertaining to this, and I was like, I feel like I've had such an easy time. And I said that in my coming out video too, like, I feel like I've had such an easy time that I'm kind of unworthy of getting that type of recognition. My serious relationships have all been heteronormative, and when I came out, everybody was happy for me, and I just feel like that would be better used on somebody else, but maybe that's my imposter syndrome talking. Hello, Cassie. How do you deal with most of the stress and hard work that comes with YouTube? And do you wish to change anything about your channel right now? So in the new year, I'd like to upload less and focus more on quality. This is something that makes me feel bad about saying out loud because I don't even know what I'm doing tomorrow. I don't know, but in my head, that's really what I'd like to do. The issue is that in YouTube in its current form, daily and doing basically what I do, it works really, really well. So I've just kind of been like enjoying what I do. I really do enjoy what I do. And I'm just kind of trying to get to a position where I'm comfortable enough that if I decide to dedicate 2 weeks to a video, I'm not putting myself at risk. Like, that's my honest answer. And I know that there's gonna be some people who are like very cynical about that. But I can say that I'm really proud of everything I've done on YouTube. And I would just like to do more. And everybody who's like familiar with my catalog understands that me and Terry are capable of a lot of things. Like, we're capable of, and we're certainly capable of a lot more than what we've been doing. Thyrus says, why did you change your content from Let's Plays gaming to more family-friendly TikTok videos? I don't hate the new content. Just curious why you and so many other YouTubers make this switch. YouTubers like me who make this switch, essentially, you're doing all gameplay, right? And then you get bored of doing all gameplay, so you do like maybe a TikTok reaction video to mix it up. And then you notice that people like the TikTok reaction video a lot more. So you're like, well, if they like it, I had a lot of fun filming it, so I'm gonna make more of those, like, for sure, because the more people you reach and the more comments you get that are like, you're part of my routine, you make my day, it makes you want to upload more. I've went from 7 a week to 1 a week to 2 a week to 4 a week to 7 again. And it's always like me trying to balance like my sanity with the happiness of my audience, with being seen by the most people and being like part of more people's lives, and trying to like be okay, like trying to constantly check myself and be like, am I proud of what I'm doing? I definitely switched to more family-friendly videos because I noticed that videos where I lost my mind, like cussing and being crazy, like they wouldn't just get demonetized, but less people would see them. So I felt like there was like some sort of age gating thing, and I know that a lot of YouTubers have like speculated about this, but essentially for me, it's about odds, right? It's about trying to put myself in a position where the odds of doing my job successfully is the highest. I'm not somebody who came up with a ton of like really, really popular YouTubers. I'm somebody who realizes that like I could lose everything I have like in a short period of time. I've seen a lot of friends and peers like take big downfalls. I know that that could easily happen to me, and so for me it's like every week I'm like, okay, what can I do that I would be happy to do that works in the current state of YouTube? Me and Jay did a Phasmophobia video the other day, and it ranked 10 out of 10 in the success of my videos, and it wasn't like a cute 10 out of 10, it was 150,000 less than my second lowest video. So as a YouTuber, as a creator, as somebody who likes analytics, because you have to like analytics to be at this level, you look at that and you go, okay, people didn't like this, so I don't know if I'm gonna do something like this again. I mean, it's Jay, so I probably will. Like, we love collabing with each other, but it's something that you think about. Angelic Knight says, what was your first impressions of having a Labrador? Well, I love the question, but I have a German Shepherd. The German Shepherd is crazy. He's a working line German Shepherd, as I've said a million times, and I know that people who have working line German Shepherds, it's all they ever talk about, so I try not to talk about it too much, but he's a handful, but he's one of the smartest and fast learning dogs I've ever seen, and he's starting to grow out of his puppy phase and just be part of the family, and it's like cool to like have him adapt to that. And he definitely needs a strong leader. This isn't like Twinkie where you could just, you know, be like, oh good, and then he would like do whatever you wanted. Like Anjing needs a leader, he needs pressure, but overall like it's very, very, very positive, and like everybody who sees Anjing is like, whoa, that dog is well trained. M Queen's wife says, do you feel pressure to post every day or make the content you make, or would you want to make content of something else? I like what I'm making right now. I want to make more sketches. I want to be able to script and storyboard. Do you guys remember Chocolate Woman Lady, that video? I'm really proud of that video. And I'm really proud of the teens texting their crush fail video where there was 3 of me and we're texting this guy. I really, really like that, making that kind of stuff. I can't right now because I'm just emotionally not in a place to do it, but I really want to do more stuff like that in the future. It's not that I don't like what I'm making, it's that I want to do more and I need to figure out a way to do it. Spoopy Derp says, what is your biggest fear, phobia? How did it instill within you and who instilled it within you? My biggest fear and phobia, I mean, I feel like I have a lot of issues. Like I feel like I've got like a spider phobia, I've got abandonment issues. I get anxiety where like when 2 people are fighting, like I black out, like I actually like lose my memory of what's going on. And I feel like a lot of it is like stemmed in being too sure of myself and then being put in my place so many times that like I'm not sure of myself anymore. Carolyn says, do you like roller coasters? I do. I was just at Wonderland the other day and I noticed people noticing me, which is funny because like I never get recognized in public, but I realized that I don't go places where there's a lot of like young people. I go to like my weird millennial restaurants and stuff. Weezard, otherwise known as Wheat, says, do you think you'll want to quit YouTube after a certain point? Like how Corey said he would quit at 10 million. For me, I feel like a lot of YouTubers, like they use YouTube like to start making films or to get into acting or to get enough capital to invest in businesses and like become an investor. Like I see like all these different paths that all these different people are taking. And one of the reasons why I say no to so many opportunities that come my way is because I just want to be a YouTuber. I don't want to be too much bigger than I am. And I want to make videos for as long as people will watch them. Like that's kind of what I want to do. Like even if I'm 50, you know, like I just want to make videos, even if it only gets like, if I'm 50 and I'm settled and I'm retired and I make a video and it only gets like 30 views, but the 30 people liked it, like I don't see why I wouldn't quit YouTube. Retirement though is a different question. I am hoping to get to a point where financially I'm okay to retire, and then at that point I can just focus on making content that I don't have to fear that nobody will watch. Brody says, what's the most embarrassing thing you've done in order to impress somebody? Oh my god. I've done so much stuff where I acted like somebody who isn't myself to try to impress people. And the embarrassing part about that is that it all falls apart because they find out the real you and you're just like, okay, so I've got a bad one. Okay, so I had these people over at my house, right? And I was like, oh, this is my humble abode. Even though it's just a 1-bedroom, I was like, this is my humble abode. Okay, they were like, do you own this place? And I wasn't really thinking, I was paying attention to something else, and I was like, yeah. But then I didn't want to be like, no, I actually don't. I don't know why, so I went with it. And then I ended up like pulling people into different rooms, and I was like, I lied. And like that's an easy thing to look up to see if it's not true, and they probably found out that it's not true. Sherby Lem says, have you ever embarrassed yourself in front of someone you really admire / look up to? Okay, so I was at a party, all right? I was at a YouTube party. It was a YouTube and streamer party. I noticed a streamer that I really look up to. XQC was there. And I was like, oh my god, it's XQC. That's awesome. And so I walked up to him and I was like, hey, are you gonna stay in Overwatch League? What do you think that you're gonna, like, I started interviewing him. I started asking him so many questions, and it wasn't normal, it wasn't cool. It's not how I've ever approached any other influencer or creator in my entire life. I think I just like got starstruck, and I wanted to strike up a conversation, but from his perspective, I feel like it looked like an interview. Like, he was really nice to me. I'm just embarrassed because I thought about it, like I overthought it after, and I was like, ah! Nadia says, is there anything in your career or life in general that you regret doing or not doing? Not really. I have everything I need. I just need to, like, take care of myself better. Alexis Courageous says, what is one thing you feel like people without an Asian upbringing cannot relate to? A lot of things, a lot of cultural things, like a lot of like etiquette and like politeness things that we have that we're very happy when people do those things just because, you know, they have a certain level of etiquette that they were raised with, but then when they don't have it, I feel like my family is like a little bit more judgmental of people who like don't have what they think is common decency. And so growing up, it was a lot of like kind of being like, Mom, Dad, like, she's a good person. She just wasn't raised this way, okay? Ollie says, do you believe there's a high probability of life being present on other planets? I think so, like if we're talking probability, like there probably is. Whether it be like single cell organisms or like something more intelligent. I feel like based on how big the universe is, I wouldn't be surprised. Anya says, have you ever done anything illegal? I've done a few illegal things. Off the top of my head, like stealing. I never stole, but my friend stole and we got caught once and I was an accomplice and I got punished for that. And yeah, I mean, there's some illegal things that I did, but I think that all the illegal things that I've done were in my childhood. And like things that I, like full transparency, things that I don't want to talk about because I don't want to be a bad example. Kareem07 says, what was the worst kiss you ever had? The worst kiss I ever had was in high school. It felt like kissing a piece of licorice. His tongue was just the worst. Like, I don't even, like, it was like rock hard. I don't know what was going on. I thought he was really cute, but it like put me off so badly that we never hung out again. Yikes. D's nuts in your mouth says, you gay. I'm Pan. I support everybody. I support everybody in the LGBTQ plus community. I really, like, I can't emphasize enough how much I support people's freedoms to like be whoever they want to be called whatever they want to be called. I just like, I feel like life is too short to invalidate something that I don't understand. And the truth is that a lot of things out there that there's a lot of things out there that I don't understand, and it gives me no pleasure to make someone feel like their experience isn't valid. I don't know what it's like on that level, but I definitely know what it's like to feel invalidated. And I can't imagine your entire, like your essence being invalidated. I can't imagine that. So it makes me mad. Lil Cookie says, what's something you believe that most other people don't? I have a lot of beliefs that I'm still true to. I believe a lot of stupid stuff. I feel like the main person who probably doesn't believe a lot of stuff that I believe in is Terry. Like, I'm really superstitious about certain things. Like really superstitious. Like, I'm more likely to be like, it's a ghost! And Terry's like, yeah, it's actually this light I'm flickering here. I was raised by a very devout Muslim mother, and like I have like nothing but the utmost respect for what she believes, and I hope that one day when I'm not working 24/7, I can like figure out more what I believe in and like make sure it's consistent and make sure that it makes sense, and that by believing in those things, nobody feels invalidated or I don't have any prejudices based on my beliefs. I feel like I covered a lot of things that I wanted to cover by themselves. I feel like I've missed the connection. I've missed the comments. I asked for the Discord to ask me some questions because I don't post a lot on Twitter. I don't post a lot on Instagram. Truth be told, it's because I get nervous about how everything that I do is so quantified by numbers. Or I read these comments and I'm like, I don't know, dude. Like, I just want to like talk to people and vibe and hang out and have fun. And I feel like the server's been really good for that. The moderators in the server have kept me sane for the past few years. I do often feel like what I'm doing is not enough. I do often feel like, especially if I have a week where it's a lot of reaction videos, like I'm like, okay, like I don't know what me 4 years ago would have thought about this. It's so funny how much you change because things that make sense once you get there, you look at the past you and you're like, ugh, like I wish I could tell the past me why. All of this to say, I really appreciate all the support, genuinely, because you guys aren't a stepping stone for me to get to something else, to be an actress, to be in Dune. This is what I want to do for a living. This is what I want to do for the foreseeable future. As of right now, this is what I want to do. As of the past 5 years, 10 years, this is all I've ever wanted to do. And so when your dreams come true and you're really stressed and you're really burnt out and you feel bad all the time, you're like, I shouldn't be feeling this way. You invalidate your own feelings. When you upload a bunch of reaction videos, you go, girl, like you could do so much more. But then another voice in your head goes, but if you're reaching a lot of people and a lot of people like what you're doing, the algorithm likes what you're doing, and this is what's current right now, then this is you doing more. Like, I don't know, you keep going back and forth, but I can assure you, I have nothing but the best of intentions, and everybody who supports me, who has somehow managed to see me evolve this many times and not get clouded by cynicism, I really appreciate you. Thank you for believing in me and who I am as a person. Thank you for believing that I am just a decent human being from Canada who just wants to make videos and reach people and also make a living and take care of my family, because that's a factor. Like, the money thing is definitely a factor. I'm never gonna deny that for a second. But thank you for seeing what you see when you see any person who goes to work and is making a living and going, okay, well, they're doing their best. Thank you for seeing that in me. I can't tell you how much I appreciate that. And yeah, I think that brings us to the end of the Q&A. I know that there's something that I forgot because I got so lost in the questions, but maybe I'll make another one soon if you guys liked it. If you guys didn't like it, then maybe I'll stick to what you do like. Who knows? I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye!